Grenada.
Count me, because we all count.
Count all of us. Nothing about us without us.
Count me.
Count me. We all count too.
Count me.
Count me. We all count too.
Count me. We are people too.
Count all of us. Nothing about us without us, because we all count for the coming census.
To improve the life of the people, we need information.
Gifts of love with dread, bringing love for you this year. Communion showing that we care, with gifts of love with dread.
We're bringing you gifts of love with cheer at the communal. This Christmas, we are your Santa. It's all about sharing the warmth of this season with those you love. Get in on this special loan, taking advantage of great interest rates with no principal payments until January 2022. Share the gift of love. Make it a merrier Christmas with the communal. Exciting prizes for members throughout the promotion. For we are your Santa this Christmas. Offer ends January 31st, 2022. Lending terms and conditions apply.
Communion showing that we care, with gifts of love with joy.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess and Klein and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114, 232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only. Well, welcome one and all to another Mikey Live program. I am your host, Mikey Hutchinson, and welcome for another day, another night, whatever time of the day our night is in your area. I understand it's really cold in the US right now. I'm sorry, we're getting a little rain here. That's as much as we can talk about. The weather is cool in the day, not too cold, not too hot, just in the middle. All right, so if you want to come back home, feel free. We have a lot still to offer despite the Omicron challenge. We have a lot. So let's talk tonight about a close call for driver in the city. We'll talk about that. Frequente Man Remanded. We'll explain that to you in a moment. Republic Bank to host the Spice Island Billfish tournament this month. And 17 new COVID-19 cases in Carriacou. Significant increase in the COVID-19 infections here in Grenada. We'll talk about that. And you do not need to be exhibiting symptoms to be tested for COVID-19, says the Ministry of Health. And there are some changes as it relates to isolation and quarantine protocols. We'll explain that to you in a moment. So we have all of that and more to tell you about when we return from our first break. That'll let you know the headlines was brought to you to the kind compliments of Courts Grenada Limited, Digicel, Nawasa, the Housing Authority of Grenada. We want to say thank you to all our sponsor, all right, the folks at Real Value. We want to say hello to you guys, the staff down there. We want to say hello to you. Superb distributors again. Blessings to you, Eric Call and the whole team. All right, so folks, we're taking the first break, and remember, someone sharing tonight's program would receive some free credit, compliments Digicel. So go ahead, folks, and share the business. Share. We will be, now sound like a Chinese here, but share. All right, we'll be back shortly.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Free delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Rich, smooth, delicious, and packed with vitamins that could only be one thing. It's Rika Almond Beverage. Great on its own or a lovely addition to smoothies. So call Superb Distributors on 435-2948 or visit us at Tempe St. George's today. Remember, Rika is life and life is Rika.
The Housing Authority offers products that people can choose from, products that people can access, and I think anyone looking to build, just call the Housing Authority of Grenada. The service was superb. Every step of the way, they collaborated with the owner, they collaborated with the builder. The builder himself was really good. For what I've seen them do, I have to say that from buildings they have done in the past to where they are now, they have come up to speed with modern trends, modern designs, and I think I will advise anybody to choose the Housing Authority of Grenada.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
Yeah, that's right. So again, we'd like to officially welcome one and all to your Mikey Live program. Now, the first thing that we need to tell you about is that the 52nd Republic Bank Spice Isle Billfish Tournament, the SIBT, is scheduled to commence January 25th to the 29th at the Grenada Yacht Club. Now, the annual Billfish Tournament received the approval from the Ministry of Health and the Royal Grenada Police Force. It's going to be an event for the fully vaccinated. A media launch is scheduled for this Thursday, January 6th at the Grenada Yacht Club. All right, and that's going to be happening at about 1 in the afternoon. In case you do not know, the hunting season is closed according to the Ministry of Agriculture. It will remain closed until September 30th of 2022. Hunting during the closed season carries a penalty of $1,000 or a term of 6 months imprisonment. You're not allowed to hunt manikou, tattoo, what? Monkey, iguana, and ramie. Who eats monkey? Like, who does that in 2022? Anyway, so these are the, listen, it should be illegal. So you're telling me marijuana go get illegal before hunting monkey is illegal? Yeah, no. Hunting monkeys should be a crime, punishable, in imprisonment. Monkey, you know? Jesus, I didn't believe this. I had to look up that people eat monkey for real in 2022. Is there anybody on this program who eats monkey? You consume primate, you eating monkey like a. Just when you thought you heard it all. So there was a close call for pedestrians and drivers today, boy. You know that street, a young street? Yes, boy, this morning, somewhere around after 9, boy. You know, we get a call. Yeah, son, a vehicle, we just call it an old school. You know, one of those buses, a passenger bus, apparently ran into vehicles on the side of the road there, as you can see on your screen. We have not received any word of any major injuries as a result of this, but police quickly went onto the scene and took control of the situation, and it didn't hamper traffic for very long. They were able to take control of the situation. We are really not sure exactly what has happened, but of course, being in the area, we heard people talking about the bus lost brake and so on, but we do not know that for sure. The authorities, they are conducting their investigation with regards to that incident. Now, remember the last time a bus went into the sea is around the same place it lost brake, right? Is that after you climb up that hill, when it's time to go down, our place smash up. You understand? And it was again an old school. So anyway, let me move on. So according to police, officers assigned to the Criminal Investigations Department, South St. George Police Station, arrested and charged Rennie Mark, a 23-year-old driver of Frequente. It's not a driver, but a diver, all right, of Frequente in St. George in connection with illegally discharging several rounds of ammunition. The incident occurred outside a popular entertainment venue in the south of the island on January 2nd, 2022. Mark received 3 charges consisting of possession of a firearm, possession of ammunition, and discharging a firearm. On Tuesday, 4th January 2022, he was brought to the court and remanded to custody at Her Majesty's Prison and is scheduled to reappear in court on January 14th, 2022. All right, and that's the incident we were telling you about last night. You understand? When the police say, well, they're looking into it and they'll provide us with further details once they have an update and things like that. Now, so this is the update for it. All right. Okay. So, folks, as we continue, as our anxiety continue to build, and I have to say that we continue to monitor the COVID-19 situation here in Grenada and Carriacou and Petit Martinique or Sister Isles. What we can tell you is that we've learned that there are now 17 new cases of COVID-19 and discovered in Carriacou within the last 24 hours. That takes their total to 49 active cases. 47 are in Carriacou and the remainder in Petit Martinique. 2 in Petit Martinique. Yes. We are still waiting the numbers as they come in from the Ministry of Health. They are being tabulated, and again, I always endeavor to share that information with you before the program ends, but failing which, we will be sharing it through our WhatsApp medium, where we send those late releases when they come. All right, if you're not yet a member of that, you can simply send us a message to the number 414-9995, and we'll be able to add you onto that list so that you will be able to get breaking news notifications and so on. There's no chatting in the group, as others will tell you. The only thing that you get is your breaking news, not just news, but breaking news. Sometimes you get only 2 updates per week or 3 updates per week or so. All right, we try to not push our luck where that is concerned because we understand. All right. So we can acknowledge that there's a significant increase in COVID-19 infections in Grenada, and that coincides with the announcement that the Omicron variant was identified here last Friday. Today, there was a post-cabinet press briefing hosted by the Ministry of Health. Representing the ministry was the Acting Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sean Charles, and the Minister for Health, Honorable Nicholas Steele. Dr. Sean Charles gave an update of the current epidemiological situation here in Grenada.
So, as of yesterday, we have 624 active cases of COVID-19. And I must say that just yesterday, 193 cases were recorded. 91% of these cases were detected in the last 8 days. So we have seen a significant rise in the number of cases. However, we have not seen much of an impact yet on our health systems. We have we do not have persons hospitalized, but we do have a large number of persons that are seeking testing. So right now, the challenge is on, satisfying the needs for testing for this increasing number of individuals.
All right, that's Dr. Sean Charles. And with regard to testing, Dr. Sean Charles is saying that you do not need to be exhibiting symptoms to be tested for COVID-19 in Grenada. Now, he was responding to a question that we posed to him at today's press conference. Many have complained that when they arrive to some of these health centers, they are being asked whether or not they are exhibiting symptoms. And they complain that some of the health practitioners are reluctant to test them if they are not exhibiting symptoms. So we posed the question to the panel, asking whether or not this is Grenada's policy, that you have to be exhibiting symptoms in order to be tested. And here's their response.
Mikey, let me categorically say that that is not the policy of the Ministry of Health. Persons can go tested under the conditions that the CMO has just specified. And for instance, somebody who needs to test for travel is not going there because they're exhibiting symptoms. I cannot speak to what some individuals may be saying, but I can say by and large, in almost all of our health centers, we have been testing, taking persons in, and they've been getting tested and coming back to work or going into isolation with the results, depending on what the results say. So no, it is not a policy to turn persons away if they are asymptomatic, because we've clearly stated here that this disease and this variant in particular can infect, and someone who is asymptomatic can be infectious or contagious.
Yeah, and let me just say that why this is not the policy, you will never detect a person who is asymptomatic. You would never detect an asymptomatic case if you adopt such a policy. So no, that is not in accord with our policy.
And we have breaking news coming in from the Ministry of Health as it relates to our current COVID-19 situation. According to the dashboard just published, Grenada has recorded 256 new cases of COVID-19 within the past 24 hours. So do the math. 256 today, 193 yesterday. Do the math in terms of what we are working with within a 48-hour period. That takes our active COVID-19 cases to 873. There are 7 new recoveries, and let's talk about tests that were conducted. There are a total of 1,125 tests that were conducted, of which we have found a 22.8% in terms of the test positivity. That's alarming. All right, that's very high, even in the context of community spread. So the situation, we are just starting to see the gravity of what we are dealing with. All right, and we can anticipate a further escalation of our situation here. You've seen a steady increase of the numbers within the last 8 days. Save and except for the weekend, when again the number of persons that were tested, it was just not consistent with what was happening, and so some thought that, hey, this is now going to be the current trend in the low numbers, but of course that's not the case as was stated by the CMO yesterday. And we have to take a look at this situation and understand the gravity of it. And it's a lot about personal responsibility too. Yes, accepting what's out there, we may or may not agree with how things are being managed, but at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own safety. We could cause and ting, but you have to do what you have to do to not become a victim. And what we have to also tell you is that there are some changes. There are some changes in isolation and quarantine protocols, and that was announced today by the Chief Medical Officer. Now, it has a lot to do with the amount of time that you would spend in quarantine and isolation, whether you are vaccinated or unvaccinated, as he explains.
The duration of quarantine, previously we had quarantined persons for up to 14 days. Now we are quarantining you for up to 7 days. All right, so the duration of quarantine, seven days. All right, and quarantine is of course applied following contact with a positive case, but we'll discuss a little more about that. And of course, testing should be done immediately if symptoms develop. Now, for fully vaccinated persons, these persons will not be required to quarantine following contact, except if they reside in the same household with a positive case. Because a lot of the times when you're in the household, I don't think there are many persons who are wearing masks in their house around their family members. All right. So for fully vaccinated persons, they are not required to quarantine, except they are living in that setting. And of course, they should get tested 5 to 7 days. Now remember, everyone is expected to be wearing their mask and following the protocols as I mentioned before. For fully vaccinated persons who test positive, the full duration of quarantine of isolation is 10 days. All right. So isolation, all right, when someone tests positive, 10 days. However, isolation can end earlier, 5 to 7 days, with a negative antigen test. All right. So if the person is in isolation, we know that persons who are vaccinated, they have some level of immunity to infection, so they should clear the infection faster. So they can have a follow-up antigen test and be cleared between 5 to 7 days. So your isolation can end early.
That's for the vaccinated. Now, for the unvaccinated.
For unvaccinated persons and persons who are partially vaccinated, the quarantine is the same, up to 7 days following contact. All right. So the quarantine is 7 days if they are a close contact with a positive case while not wearing a mask. So these persons would quarantine. Now, if you have just a casual contact with someone, all right, and you are wearing your mask correctly, there is no need to quarantine. It's just like, for example, our healthcare workers go to work every day. They treat patients with and without COVID, and they continue to operate as normal because they are wearing their protection in a correct manner. All right, because if you do so, you prevent yourself from becoming infected. All right, so the unvaccinated, they will quarantine if they are a close contact while not wearing a mask, or not wearing it correctly. All right, or if they're a household contact. All right, so we encourage everyone to, wear your mask and so on. All right, it eliminates the need for you to quarantine after an exposure. Okay, and of course, they should be tested on day 7, and if tested negative, all right, they will test it on day 7, and if they test negative, they can end their quarantine. They can end that period early. That is for those who are quarantined. Okay. Of course, they should continue to self-monitor for the 7 days. Now, if an unvaccinated person tests positive, the duration of quarantine of isolation is 14 days. All right, the duration of isolation is 14 days. And the isolation then can end between days 7 to 10 with a negative antigen test. Now, of course, who is a close contact? It's a person who has been within 6 feet of somebody who has tested positive for more than 15 minutes without wearing a mask, for example.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sean Charles. And we needed to play this clip in its entirety because we do not want people to be guessing and we don't want to cut through the facts of what he was saying, all right? So we hope that you were able to get clarity on this. Soaring Omicron cases around the globe could increase the risk of newer, more dangerous variant emerging. The World Health Organization in Europe warned on Tuesday. Now, while the variant is spreading like wildfire around the world, it appears to be far less severe than initially feared and has raised hopes that the pandemic could be overcome and life return to normality. But the World Health Organization, a senior emergency officer, Catherine Smallwood, see, I got some sense of humor, sounded a Omicron note of caution, saying that the soaring infection rates could have the opposite effect. She says that the more Omicron spreads, the more it transmits, and the more it replicates, the more likely it is to throw out a new variant. All right? The Omicron now is not bad, but they're saying, who's to say that because it's spreading to so many people, it has a higher probability of mutating into something else, and that could also be a more dangerous variant, not as dangerous, maybe not as dangerous as Delta, but could. But why are you making all these opinionated statements anyway? When you have an authority, don't make them kind of statement because, you know, I don't like it. You know, you don't know. Just wait and see. Hope for the best. So come and talk to innocent people head, because then you end up making news, and then people got into things. You know what I mean? Right. Anyway, they say end of life. The old Blackberries no longer would work as of Tuesday. Jesus. So people in old school, would you imagine? Listen, I look at the whole BlackBerry scenario, and I know that there are some people who are living a lie. You know what I mean? What I'm saying? People who are on top cloud 9 and feel like this is it. You understand? They could treat people how they want because them is the ish. Let BlackBerry teach you a lesson. It was only yesterday. When I say yesterday, not literally yesterday. These people run the mobile industry. And because of lack of flexibility, poor management, lack of foresight, stubbornness, and all the other things to go with it, look how BlackBerry reach. If you show somebody a BlackBerry, if you go to pull out a BlackBerry on the train, people laughing at you. You understand? You give your son a BlackBerry, or your daughter a BlackBerry, they're like, what am I going to do with that? You understand? After one time is the next. And I believe that life is like a triangle. They say life is a circle. Nah, man. Triangle. Well, circle, triangle, any one of them, but it's the same principle. I more prefer the triangle. You understand? Your flat line at the bottom. You do the work. Go all the way up. And if you don't manage your upward mobility properly, the upward movement properly, just as how you go up, you're coming back down. The higher and faster you climb, the harder you fall. If you don't do it right. You understand? And with a lot of things. We all would flatline at some point in time in our lives. We all at some point in time in our lives will have some kind of uphill climb to deal with. And at some point in time in our lives, we will lose our balance. And it's hard. If you're in a good breaks, it's back down when you come out. You understand? But then if you have a good foundation, when you flatline, the cycle continues. You go back up again. You understand? Anyway, lately that talk. How we looking? Somebody said the BlackBerry reach in the cemetery. How you mean? Cemetery you saying? Berry? You could do a whole virtual service. A 35-year-old security guard in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that we were telling you about yesterday has been found guilty, sentenced to 4 years in jail after he was found guilty of 2 counts of indecent assault after a video surfaced showing him engaging in a sexual act with a 4-year-old child. Dirty man record the business and all. Fussy brave. Let's tell you. You understand? He gets so brave. He record the business. You understand? According to the CMC, the identity of the man is being withheld, you know, because they say, you know, once you say the man name, then you go know who the child is. And they're trying to protect the identity of the child. You understand? The man pleaded guilty to 1 count of indecent assault on the child, committed between December 31st, 2019 and January 1st, 2021. You understand? And another on December 29th of 2021, the day that the video became public. But the police was warning that it is a crime to be in possession of the video and also to circulate it. So they're telling people not to do it, you know? You understand? But no. But what I'm saying is 4 years? 4 years? Eh? 4 years? I like scar the child for life. And you get a 4 years, a slap on the wrist. If you ask me, a slap on the wrist, all fine. But God knows what he does do in truth, eh? Like when he put certain people in certain position and things, because you don't want to put people like me so in charge of, you know, thing. Because them boy them they don't see the light of day. You know? Imagine somebody doing that to your child. We don't going to no police. What police going to do for me? Yeah, I mean, I might have every child. What going to the police and do? Eh? That's not the police business. They between me and the man. You know what I mean? They between me and he. Yeah, I mean, that's civil matter. Because I'm my child. And it don't matter what you do, that's a crime against the state. Or that could be a crime against the state. That is a crime against me. And that's what the problem is, you know. That's a crime against, it's not a crime against the state. The state make child. Yeah, the state open up and make child for 9 months. Carry a baby. No. The state mining child. There's a problem between me and you. A civil matter. We go settle it outside our court. You understand? Yeah. A small thing. I'm going to call police and going to cry. And then the police give the man 4 years. He go preach my hill. He do a two subject. And then when he come out with a 2 subject. And then he come out like if he come out in New York. You know, nah man. Crazy heart. You're mad. Like between me and he by. Hey. Nobody will come and tell me no stupidness about law this and law that. Like between me and he. Anyway, lately that talk. You understand? I go, boss! Let me talk to you now. But I see what go on there. I see what you do. And if it's a family member, my mommy, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying that to do with police. If it's your family member, what's yet? You understand? In cases where it's a father, you know what I mean? Like me and beating me and, you know what I mean? A wifey. I know some of the ladies, you know, think more. I mean, all could get creative. Because you don't find them thing no stopping, you don't find it getting worse. I find some mothers could get creative. Yeah? Anyway, lately that talk. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it's a father do the situation, the business, and the mother find out it's the father, what she gonna call police for? Yeah, I mean, why you gonna tie up the police system, tie up the code, them people busy. That their work to do. You understand? You know, people they handle their business. And you handle yours. That one is yours to fix. I want to take a break, yeah? I feel I'll pass out. You know, let me take a break and then I'll come back. And when I come back, we have the national report. And we had the weather for you.
Grenada.
Count me. Because we all count.
Count all of us. Nothing about us without us.
Count me.
Count me. We all count too.
Count me.
Count me. We all count too.
Count me. We are people too.
Count all of us. Nothing about us without us. Because we all count for the coming census.
To improve the life of the people, we need information.
Gifts of love with trend. Bringing love for you this year. Communion showing that we can. With gifts of love with trend.
We're bringing you gifts of love with cheer at the communal. This Christmas, we are your Santa. It's all about sharing the warmth of this season with those you love. Get in on this special loan, taking advantage of great interest rates with no principal payments until January 2022. Share the gift of love. Make it a merrier Christmas with the communal. Exciting prizes for members throughout the promotion. For we are your Santa this Christmas. Offer ends January 31st, 2022. Lending terms and conditions apply.
Communion showing that we can. With gifts of love with trend.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess and Klein and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114, 232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Free delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Rich, smooth, delicious, and packed with vitamins that could only be one thing. It's Rika Almond Beverage. Great on its own or a lovely addition to smoothies. So call superb distributors on 435-2948 or visit us at Tempe St. George's today. Remember, Rika is life and life is Rika.
The Housing Authority offers products that people can choose from, products that people can access, and I think anyone looking to build, just call the Housing Authority of Grenada. The service was superb. Every step of the way, they collaborated with the owner, they collaborated with the builder. The builder himself was really good. For what I've seen them do, I have to say that from buildings they have done in the past to where they are now, they have come up to speed with modern trends, modern designs, and I think I will advise anybody to choose the Housing Authority of Grenada.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, Hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
Welcome to Yogo. Most of you know us for our food delivery service and our food pass for free delivery from restaurants. But did you know you can also use us for grocery deliveries too? We've just added another 5,000 plus new items to Yogo's supermarket. And stay updated as we add more products and vendors. Yogo Services is our convenient skip the line offering. Let us pay your electric, water, and other utility bills for you. With us, you will be able to buy tickets, pay your rent, schedule bookings, and other services. Need a ride to get somewhere? Give Yogo Lyft a try. Select your pickup location and destination location and wait for our driver to collect you. Never have to worry about how you're gonna get to a place again. Please see website or app for our service locations. And sign up now.
Grenada updates guidelines for quarantine and testing. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022, I am Chrisanne Mitchell. Grenada has updated its guidelines for quarantine and testing for locals and visitors as the country deals with an increase in positive COVID-19 cases and the emergence of the new variant, Omicron. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says individuals who have been in contact with positive cases should get tested within 5 to 7 days after exposure. This will be followed by a quarantine period of up to 7 days. If symptoms are present, testing should be done immediately at the nearest health facility. Fully vaccinated persons are required to be quarantined only under certain conditions.
These persons will not be required to quarantine following contact, except if they reside in the same household with a positive case. Because a lot of the times when you're in the household, I don't think there are many persons who are wearing masks in their house around their family members. All right. So for fully vaccinated persons, they are not required to quarantine, except they are living in that setting. And of course, they should get tested 5 to 7 days. Now remember, everyone is expected to be wearing their mask and following the protocols as I mentioned before. For fully vaccinated persons who test positive, the full duration of quarantine of isolation is 10 days. All right. So isolation, all right, when someone tests positive, 10 days. However, isolation can end earlier, 5 to 7 days, with a negative antigen test.
During the government's first weekly post-cabinet press briefing for the new year, Dr. Charles says the quarantine period is the same for unvaccinated and partially vaccinated individuals.
So the quarantine is 7 days if they are a close contact with a positive case while not wearing a mask. So these persons would quarantine. Now, if you have just a casual contact with someone, all right, and you are wearing your mask correctly, there is no need to quarantine.
Visitors who recently recovered from the COVID-19 and are desirous of traveling to Grenada must provide proof of a positive test of no more than 90 days and a negative antigen test.
A person who has recently had COVID-19 may be allowed to travel to Grenada with evidence of recovery. They need to walk with some documents that shows evidence that they have recovered. So you recently had COVID, maybe travel out, you recently had COVID, you've completed, you recovered. You can travel into Grenada, but you must produce evidence that you have recovered. And this evidence include, you must present the positive test, all right, on a sample taken no more than 90 days before arriving in Grenada. So it's not like you tested positive in June last year and you can just come into Grenada without any. No, it cannot be more than 90 days. Because beyond that, you get a positive test. We'll consider there's the potential that you might have been reinfected with another variant. So it shouldn't be more than 90 days. And so in addition to the original positive test, that should be no more than 90 days, you must carry a letter from your healthcare provider or from a public health official stating that you are cleared to travel. All right, so that's 2. And 3, you must have a negative antigen test within 1 day.
The period of isolation for unvaccinated people is 14 days. However, isolation can end between 7 to 10 days with proof of a negative antigen test. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health is monitoring global research and development of the new Omicron variant so that it can apply the most effective measures to curb the spread of the virus. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says due to the novelty of Omicron, local health officials are relying on data from other countries that have the virus to help plan their response. Omicron spreads easily from person to person between the unvaccinated and vaccinated. The incubation period for the new variant is 2 to 4 days, which is shorter than that of the original strain, as well as the Delta variant, which is 5 to 6 days and 4 days respectively. Health officials have recorded 624 active COVID-19 cases on island. 193 positive cases were confirmed on Monday. 91% of the active cases were detected in the last 8 days, which according to Dr. Charles represents a significant increase in numbers. The Ministry of Health has in recent days increased its pop-up clinics to accommodate the volume of testing required per community. Infrastructure Development Minister Senator Norland Cox says following their engagement with at least 3 suppliers, Grenada will be able to meet the demands for asphalt by the first quarter of 2022. The product, which has been in short supply, is needed to complete road rehabilitation and other projects. Senator Cox explained that projects due to commence this year will not be affected by the lack or shortage of asphalt, as there will be an ample supply for both government and private projects. He was at the time speaking during the GIS Year in Review program.
We would have been doing some work in that area, and then some opportunities would have been created as well. And so we are confident that within the first quarter of 2022, we should have at least minimum 3 suppliers of asphalt on an island. So that is something that we feel comfortable about. It's something I've been working on today. I'm having some discussions on ensuring that all the machines are in place to ensure that we realize that is going to be critical for us. So without going into details, we should have three suppliers producing asphalt for us on island, not only just for government work, but also for other private work as well. So we feel comfortable with that. We know that there are going to be some challenges on the input side, on the consumables, getting them here because of shipping and other things like that. We know that price is going to be an issue in 2022 because we see a little spike again taking place with COVID, and that is going to affect shipping outside of Grenada. So we are looking at it, we are paying attention, but we are ready to go in terms of our asphalt.
Minister Cox says the supply of concrete ready mix will also be addressed in 2022. Stay with us. The news will continue after the break.
Protect yourself and our community from COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. To stay up to date, visit the Government of Grenada's webpage or the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's hotline by calling 53-VIRUS. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. The nation's children are all expected to return to the classroom for face-to-face learning on Monday, January 10th, a move that has the full support of Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles. During government's post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Dr. Charles says the pandemic is continuing to do irreparable harm to children.
The consequences of this, I am not sure if the Grenadian society is fully aware of, and is fully we are prepared. If we are prepared to tackle the social isolation that exists right now, as it relates to our school children, the worsening of the inequities that exist right now with regards to families who have the means and family who have not. All of these things are doing severe damage to our children.
The chief medical officer added that they cannot discount the importance of the return to physical classroom, especially since many countries with more serious outbreaks are making this a priority.
It may not change this year. It may not change next year. But our children cannot wait. And our society needs to understand that. You know, we need to understand that we cannot suspend and we cannot postpone the education of our children any further. There are many children that are simply, they're falling off the radar. I don't know how we can ignore this. I don't know how anyone can justify this any further. I mean, I would support the full opening of schools. We will address whatever challenges comes up. If there are children or there are schools that are affected, we will go in, we will test, we will quarantine. But we can't keep these children at home forever. It is no longer acceptable. And the thing is, I am surprised that there isn't an outcry for the children.
Dr. Charles also pointed out that some children have not received instructions for quite some time for varying reasons, and further delaying this process can put them in a difficult position.
Their families have no electricity, they have no phones, they have no... What happened to them? Where do they fit into society? I mean, this is my own personal take on the situation. That if we don't have persons advocating for education of our children, you know what is going to happen? The families that can afford to ensure that their children continue to have an education, and the families that are struggling, we offer no hope for those families and for those children to get out of poverty.
Finally, in the news, Cabinet has approved new guidelines for the recruitment of teachers for 2022. Education Minister Honorable Emmeline Pear says the guidelines are part of government's plan to build and strengthen the resilience of the education sector. She was speaking during the recent live broadcast of the GIS Year in Review.
You know, when you look at persons who came into teaching before with a passion, they want to teach. Now you seem to be attracting a lot of people who are looking for a stepping stone. Teaching is not what I really want to do, but I'm going to do it until I find what I want to do. How do we attract people who are passionate, who want to be teachers? And that's another area. We've just actually had Cabinet approved new guidelines as it relates to recruitment. So how do you come on an interview and do a good performance and you end up in the classroom tomorrow? You know, all of those things we have been relooking. So policy has been a major focus. Amidst all of the pandemic, we have been able to work on about 10 different policy areas.
Permanent Secretary Kevin Andel said the regularization of teachers during 2022 will be a major milestone for the ministry. More than 100 teachers have been identified for regularization.
We are looking at the whole issue of the regularization of teachers, and that is on the front burner. We have done a number of work on that, and in 2022 we are expected to make significant headway in making that happen. I can say to you that that will be a major milestone for us. We have done it in the past, and we continue to do it on a phased approach as we look at the fiscal space that is available to us.
That story has brought us to the end of the national report for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. Recapping the top story, Grenada updates guidelines for quarantine and testing. On behalf of the entire news and production team here at the Government Information Service, I am Chrisanne Mitchell saying thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for cutting you short. So thank you very much again, Chrisanne, and the rest of the GIS News team. All right, even the technical staff, we say hello to you. And of course, we have now for you the weather. We can tell you that the weather is expected to be partly cloudy with light isolated showers tonight. The minimum temperature 24.5 degrees Celsius. Winds east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas moderate with waves 5 to 7 feet in open water. And there's going to be a low tide tonight around midnight and high again at 6 a.m. For your weather for Wednesday, we can tell you that the weather is expected to be mostly fair with light morning shower. And the max temperature for tomorrow, 30.5 degrees Celsius, a minimum 24.5 degrees Celsius. Winds east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas moderate with waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Low tides will be at midday. To the folks who are currently tuned in on YouTube, we say hello to you. It's always a pleasure. Velma John, hello to you. All right. And Miss Anne, hello to you. And Anne Maria, and Shamin Bihari, Favor King, Shireen, Ezran. Who else is with us tonight? Suzette, Ala, Zaka, Claudette. I've been texting you, Suzette, and you don't answer my text. What's that about? You don't answer my text, Suzette? You want to go in the back of the class? You want to be detained? Suzette, you want detention? Suzette? Answer my message, okay? Check your inbox. Good. Javar. And Michelle. I guess Mama like a punishment today. Oh God. He haunted. Daddy, it hurting. Of course I know it's hurting. So we have this thing we do, right? So all parents do it, right? So if a child bumps his forehead, you kiss the forehead. If a child bruises his hand, you kiss his hand and they stop crying, right? If they bruise their knee, you kiss their knee. If you bruise the elbow, So he's not wearing any Pampers and he's giving a lot of trouble. So I pull him over Because I come here. You need to behave. Daddy, Daddy, it hurting. Kiss it. What? Janua. You know, it's like, Daddy, it hurting. Kiss it. Anyway, nothing so. Alright, nothing so. Okay? I'm not doing that. Anyway, so big up to everyone. Adonna, Ansha, Vintress, Alistair, who else? Favor, I said that already, right? Kirin, and basically everyone else. We want to say hello to you and may God bless you. All right. Angel, thank you as well, and Sharon, Suzette, you cry. Next thing, and I don't know, you kind of smart too. Next thing I do that, you say, Daddy kiss me. You understand? So Daddy beat me, and then Daddy had to kiss my. Next thing I see this small man have a whole journal on their pillow. Daddy beat me, and then I made him kiss my. I don't put it nothing past this millennium children, you know. Yeah, I beat. Anyway, lady that talk. Lintia, and praise and worship. Who else? Michelle and the whole family, man. Blessings to you guys, all right? So let's go. Yvonne, blessings to you. Let's go. Mariel. Yeah, Mariel, man want me to kiss you. Anyway, let me talk. Let me go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We all say, Ja! No! Blessings, and we will touch base again, right? We'll see you all tomorrow and thing. See you all, yeah.